set to kick off the second half of the big UWF TNA event in Farmville, Virginia. Longwood University hosting what has so far been an exciting night of action, but you've got to believe, Grant Sawyer, it's only going to be kicked up even higher in the second half of this show.
Oh, I'm extremely anticipating the second half of this show myself, and one very formidable combination in the ring with Maven and Jaqueline.
Jackie, I want to talk to you because I know these people here in Calville, wherever the hell we're at, they're not allowed to know. I was listening to Brother Ray earlier, and he had a phone message. And on the way here, I had a phone message too. It was like there's some George Clooney here, you know, I can't keep him straight anymore. Anyway, point being, he told me, he said, I understand that tonight you're going and you're going to wrestle in. Where the hell are we at? It doesn't really matter. Ooh, that's new. I've never had that before. Take a little key hat, get a few boyfriend there. Anyway, what Clyde told me earlier, he's like, going to Farmville, Virginia. He's like, you and Jackie, and you guys, let's be honest, you wrestle everywhere. We've been in different countries. We wrestled in Madison Square Garden, the Staples Center. By the way, that's what the Lakers play basketball. And he said there's going to be two things you need going in the Farmville, Virginia. And we saw earlier exactly what those two things are: soap and water. Soap and water. Because after saying each and every one of your hands earlier, that's the two things that I need. Soap and water. Soap and water. Get my opponent out here.
Maven cannot even be bothered to learn the name of the town.
Not endearing himself to a state that he used to call home.
Ever since he went Hollywood, that has been the attitude of Maven. But his opponent tonight is definitely not from Hollywood. Maybe not even from planet Earth. From Longwood University for the charismatic enigma Jeff Hardy, once again tagging up with the lovely Amber O'Neal in mixed tag team action. And Grant, we were all there, and our regular viewers will know how successful this tandem was just a couple of weeks ago in Martinsville.
That's exactly right, and that was their first time ever as a duo that's getting both the screams from the men and the women.
Definitely two of the more good-looking individuals on the roster tonight. The ladies love Jeff, and as you noted, the men really love Amber. A North Carolina tandem of Hardy and O'Neal, who were victorious against Matt Bentley and Traci in Martinsville, and now mixed tag teams lining up to take on these two. Maven and Jackie.
And really, as mixed tag team tandems go in TNA, Bentley and Traci are the most established combination, and they've already been knocked off by this combination of Amber O'Neal and Jeff Hardy.
That's a great point. So essentially for this contest, we've got the two big-time Hardy chant. None of the Hardy haters came to Longwood. Tell you, he is the most unique wrestler on the TNA, UWF, or anybody's roster is Jeff Hardy. Love him or hate him, he evokes such a strong reaction.
In and out of the wrestling ring. He's the most unusual individual you could probably come cross paths with in life.
He probably came to the building dressed like that.
Oh, I have no doubt about it.
What if Amber walks around dressed like that in daily life?
Of course, Amber O'Neal for years have been very close with Jeff Hardy, been friends for many years, dating back to the last days of the Omega promotion. But only recently have those two been in the same corner, in the same ring, and that's exactly what TNA's bringing you.
Unique first-time matchups. One of the themes, one of the foundations that the UWF was built upon, that will undoubtedly be explored later this weekend, and we have another first-time matchup in the ring right now as Amber O'Neal has been one of the most established female wrestlers in all the country, especially in the southern mid-Atlantic area. North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee has held women's championships in all 4 of those states, but locking up for the first time in her career with Jackie.
Certainly Jaqueline is the more well-known women's competitor in this matchup. Amber O'Neal may not be that all well-known on the West Coast, but this is her moment to truly shine and prove that she has what it takes to belong in there. Northern Lights by Jaqueline Early.
You gotta wonder if maybe Amber's intimidated to be in there with Jackie, former multiple-time world women's champion, and just flat out, one of the toughest competitors in the locker room is Miss Jackie. There's just no two ways about it. Oh, she can whoop half the men.
Yeah, exactly. Whether it be male or female, Miss Jaqueline can take them to school, so to speak.
Some would say unique pairings, as Hardy and O'Neal have got the North Carolina connection, as we established earlier. Of course, Maven and Jackie have got the connection dating back to Maven starting this sport on the first season of Tough Enough. Jackie was one of the trainers on that first season of Tough Enough, so they go back a long ways as well.
That's exactly right. I think a lot of people have almost forgotten that's how Maven really started, because he really came into his own and became so much more of than just a Tough Enough trainee. I mean, he's gone on to Hollywood, obviously, which he loves to brag about, but he's become a truly accomplished athlete in his own right.
Look at Amber take Jackie off her feet. Jackie is powerful, but Amber overpowers her on that hip toss. In addition to everything else, one of the more powerful women on the roster is Jackie, but Amber's taking it to her.
Exactly, Amber's showing a bit of power of her own, getting up for that body slam, and Jaqueline backing off in the corner now. Amber asking for more.
What an accomplishment that is, just to make Jackie back off.
Of course, getting past Traci Brooks was one thing that Amber O'Neal accomplished, but getting past Miss Jackie is a whole nother mountain to climb.
Well, Amber was not successful in her UWF TNA debut in Danville, thanks to the assist that Traci had from Maverick Matt Bentley. When the scores were even, the sides were even, Amber came out on top, and the sides are even in this one, 2-on-2, and not a 2-on-1 situation.
And so far, neither tag team really doing much tag team wrestling, but we are getting a fine singles matchup.
Boy, Amber asserted herself early on, but Jackie taking it to her on the canvas. Of course, as we mentioned, former multiple-time world women's champion, has been in the tutelage of Kevin Sullivan, Harlem Heat. This girl has been all over the world, Smoky Mountain, USWA. Jackie has been all over the world. Big shoulder tackle from Amber takes her off her feet.
And once again, Jaqueline scurrying back to the corner, and for the first time in this contest, Maven gets the tag.
Of course, Maven, as we've alluded to, so enamored with that Hollywood lifestyle, being on the current season of The Surreal Life. Moved himself out of Harrisonburg to California, where he now makes his home.
We know how much success other wrestlers have had that have moved to Hollywood in the past.
Do you think Maven will get the lead in Mr. Nanny too?
Jeff Hardy in for the first time, and boy, does this crowd not know it.
Everyone rocking out Longwood University with the Hardy chants, circling the ring.
Jeff Hardy has a jukebox in his head, and everyone in Farmville's dancing along with him tonight.
Backs him into the corner. Maven looking to silence the jukebox in Jeff Hardy's head. Look at the guns on Maven. You can't take anything away from him.
Yeah, but he's trying to psych out Jeff Hardy. And if there's one guy that I don't think is capable of being psyched out, it's Jeff Hardy.
Jeff is cool with it. You're not gonna throw Jeff out of his game plan.
You're not going to show Jeff Hardy anything that he hasn't already seen in or out of the wrestling ring.
If Jeff comes in with a game plan, you're not gonna throw him off of it.
Well, that's the truth.
He's just Jeff. He's like this in the ring and out of it. A lot of people, like I said, he elicits these positive responses from people.
But you hear a lot of people talk about this different persona, different character they become when they enter a pro wrestling ring. Jeff Hardy is not that way at all. Jeff Hardy enters the ring the same way he would enter McDonald's.
That's a great, wow. Can you imagine going through the drive-thru with Jeff? Jeff riding shotgun and Jim Cornette driving would be the best drive-thru experience ever. As now, once again, everyone in Farmville getting behind the charismatic Enigma, who has experienced a rebirth of sorts in the UWF on the UWF sanctioned events, on hiatus from TNA and Spike TV for the time being, but is really rocking the houses on these UWF sanctioned events in Virginia and the Carolinas.
He certainly sent Shannon Moore packing.
He may send Maven back to California, drop sleeper. Unique offensive maneuver, he just dove at the man.
Jeff Hardy has the double leg. We've seen him hit this many times.
Stretching out the hamstrings, may have caught Maven a little low, and Maven wants to make a tag to Jackie.
You know, and interestingly enough, this will not be the first time Miss Jackie and Jeff Hardy have squared off in a wrestling ring.
Jackie does not seem too thrilled that she got the tag.
Jeff Hardy may be more worried about Jackie than he is Maven.
If you want to question Jackie's toughness, just think back a few years ago. Jackie lasted longer on Fear Factor than Jeff Hardy did. Imagine that.
That tells you something about her character.
I think the ref is not quite going to allow the tag, as it's man on man and woman on woman are the rules in this contest.
Unorthodox tactics by Maven grabbing the official like that, but it certainly paid off.
Big boot, look like to the sternum, maybe the rib cage of Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, but Maven has Jeff Hardy way too close to the corner. Amber O'Neill's right there. He really needs to reposition Jeff Hardy back to his corner.
High, belly to back. Drops Jeff right on the back of his head. Could rattle his brains.
Good luck with that.
Jeff going to make a tag. Not close enough to the corner. Maven going to cut him off and take him back to his half of the ring.
Of course, this is certainly an intriguing matchup from the fact that none of these four individuals are really on TNA Impact on Spike on a regular basis as of yet. And you got to think, even though this is a tag team contest, all four have that individual goal of becoming TNA regulars each and every week.
That's got to be the goal of everyone in the sport today. How many people have we seen leave the entertainment company up north and come to TNA? What a gorgeous drop kick from Maven.
God, Jim Brunzell, how long has it been? Maven with the lateral press, not the lateral press, but the very cocky cover on Jeff Hardy, and you certainly will not beat Jeff Hardy like that. Now with the lateral press, but still only able to get a 2.
Our regular UWF TNA viewers have seen the attitude change that has developed in Maven in the last few months since his surreal life experience, renouncing his home state of Virginia and basically renouncing everything that he came from and transplanting himself to Hollywood.
I think if I spent a month or whatnot with Alexis Arquette, I'd have a pretty big life change too.
Fair enough. Maven really cranking on the neck of Jeff Hardy.
Trying to use that power to lean down on this smaller Jeff Hardy. But of course, you've seen how much punishment Jeff Hardy has been able to take in the past, and Amber O'Neill is getting this crowd into it.
Hardy fights out, but the hair, Maven takes Hardy down by the hair, and now getting in the face of Amber O'Neill.
Jeff Hardy's trying to struggle back to his feet, but Maven meets him, choking him out on the second rope there.
Maven trying to take as much out of Jeff as he can. Obviously, the resiliency plays a huge part in anything Jeff Hardy does in the ring. He can come back from the dive from the balcony, through the ladders, through the tables, off of the roof of the building, off the taxi cab in Madison Square Garden. measured in for another perfect drop kick, Grant.
Well, if we have established one thing tonight, that Maven has some of the prettiest drop kicks in 2006. Another cover, but you gotta give him just a 2 count.
Hardy looking frustrated in the corner of Maven and Jackie, not where he wants to be. Referee right there to check.
Boy, and Jaqueline looks like she just itching to get in there and get a shot in on Jeff Hardy.
Oh, she'll fight anybody, animal, vegetable, or mineral. I have no doubt of that.
Maven shooting Jeff Hardy off. Jeff Hardy, oh, way up, whisper in the wind!
Caught him on the side of the temple. And now Hardy is in a position where if he can make that tag to O'Neal, he could change the course of the match.
The one big offensive flurry from Jeff Hardy completely changes the complexion of the match as Maven is down and they both need to make the tag to their respective partners.
Amber on the apron trying to get this crowd behind her. I know she'd have no problem with me getting behind her. Hardy inching his way. Makes the tag. Amber and Jackie are in.
The girls are in. Big clothesline by Amber O'Neal. Taking down Jaqueline. Tilt-a-whirl head scissors.
Spike Jackie on the top of her head with that tilt-a-whirl.
Amber with the cover, but Maven right there has his hands in the hair of Amber O'Neal.
The rules of this contest are stated man on man and woman on woman. The ref right there is trying to admonish Maven, who just got slapped.
Amber slaps the taste out of Maven's mouth. Big clothesline by Jeff Hardy. Takes it both up and over the top rope.
Amber, proud of her partner, second line. German suplex on the top of the head. And Jackie bends Amber in half with that German. And just like that, gets the victory.
Tremendous effort by Amber O'Neal. The picture-perfect German suplex by Miss Jackie ends this one.
Hardy took his eyes off the ball for just a moment to get Maven out of the ring. He was helping out his partner, but man, she got drilled into the canvas on that German. And with the bridge of Miss Jackie, that gets the victory for the Tough Enough tandem. A disappointing loss for Amber and Hardy, but what a great effort from Amber O'Neal and the charismatic Enigma here in Farmville.
It certainly will not probably be the last we see of that combination either. Win or lose, this crowd is very appreciative and respectful of Jeff Hardy and Amber O'Neal.
Amber in a lot of pain from that German, but as you said, the crowd still firmly behind the charismatic Enigma and Amber O'Neal, who in the short history of TNA UWF have really established themselves as the mixed tag team to beat. And you've got to think they're going to look for a rematch down the road with Jackie and Maven.
Here is Jaqueline.
Regardless of gender, one of the toughest athletes in our sport is making her way to the ring at this moment. Women's action here in Palmyra, stemming from the mixed tag from last night. It is Jaqueline against Amber O'Neal.
Jaqueline, of course, been all over this world, has faced just about every great female competitor, but she's about to face one of the great young up-and-comers in the women's division.
From Greensboro, it up for Amber O'Neal.
Quite a pop, as they say, for Amber O'Neal.
The fans of the Flying Flukos are in for a real treat here today.
The whom?
Otherwise known as the great fans of Palmyra.
Did you say they were Flukos?
That's what they call themselves here.
Sounds like a cereal.
At least you don't have to worry about anyone else ripping it off.
That's very true. Speaking of ripped off, Maven and Jackie pulled off the victory last night against Amber and her regular tag team partner, Jeff Hardy. Tonight, you've got to believe it's a big thrill for Amber O'Neal, a young lady in this business who has been all up and down the Mid-Atlantic, all over the country really, but to step in there one-on-one for the first time against one of the most accomplished female wrestlers of our generation in Jackie.
If you've talked to Amber at all over the past few weeks, you know how excited she has been about being given this opportunity with total non-stop action and looking to not only excite the fans here, but before long, excite the fans each and every week on TNA Impact.
That's really great that Amber's excited. I personally would be scared to death if I have to fight Jackie. I'd let Amber fight her for me.
Of course, last night we saw Jaqueline pull out a vicious German suplex that secured the win, and I gotta think that's the one maneuver Amber has got to be watching out for tonight. But Jaqueline has such a wide variety of moves that she can put you away with.
She seems to have been using that German suplex as her primary offensive maneuver in the last few times that we've seen her. She dropped Amber right on her noggin last night in Farmville. Amber now on the defensive as Jackie wrenching away at that arm. Northern Lights.
Beautifully executed, has an early cover, but only able to get a 2.
Schoolgirl, Amber right there.
Yeah, Jackie needs to pay attention. Amber is no rookie. She may not be that well known by the vast majority of this country, but Amber is certainly accomplished in her own right.
Jackie, I think, is complaining that Amber was using the tights, the equipment, pulling on the tights. Boy, Palmyra loves some Amber O'Neal.
Yeah, they have taken to that girl and quickly, and I can't blame them there.
Amber bouncing, she's in her fighting stance.
I think Jaqueline all of a sudden is taking this match maybe a little more seriously than she did when the bell actually rang.
She really needs to, or she's gonna find herself with an L instead of a W.
Big shoulder block.
Amber put so much behind it, it took herself off her feet.
Now looking to shoot Jackie into the corner. Jackie reverses it though off the ropes. Amber blocks the hip toss and now fighting for the backslide here.
Great move from Amber. She turned her own momentum to hit the ropes instead of the buckle and came right back at Jackie.
Series of leg sweeps by both ladies.
Both girls feeling each other out here, trying to get the upper hand, and O'Neal is in a position of dominance right now.
Jaqueline, you can see the frustration etched across her face, kicking the bottom rope.
After last night, I would hope she wouldn't take Amber lightly, because as I said, if she does, she's going to be in for a big surprise from this young lady that the UWF fans and Total Nonstop Action fans have really taken to over her last few appearances.
Jaqueline suckering Amber in there, caught her with a vicious kick right in the midsection, and now firing away with those forearms to the face.
Amber a little bit dazed. Jackie, one of the hardest hitters in all of female wrestling, or male wrestling for that matter.
Oh, certainly. Either gender, it does not matter to Jaqueline. She'll punch in the face no matter who you are.
I wouldn't let her fight my sister. Or my father, for that matter.
Referee Sparks admonishing Jaqueline there for the blatant hair pull that took Amber to the canvas.
Even Mike Sparks is a little bit intimidated by Jackie, I think. That's a bad dude, no matter what the sex.
And a second one.
Jackie right in front of the official. a little confident that she could whoop Mike Sparks if she needed to.
You know, that's one great thing about TNA. They're bringing professional women's wrestling back to the sport of professional wrestling as well. It's not just the bra and panties matches and that. Jaqueline, an accomplished female wrestler, and of course Amber O'Neal. So as well, we've seen it with Traci Brooks. We've seen it with several other women. And TNA is really trying to give these women a chance to shine at what they're really great at, and that is professional wrestling.
Jackie put all her weight on that rope choke, and Amber looks like the small of the back of the rib cage is hurting. As Palmyra, Virginia, appreciative of real women's wrestling, just as you said, this is not a pillow fight. This is not a segment sponsored by an adult men's magazine. This is professional wrestling. That's what the UWF is trying to sell all over the Southeast and all over the country. O'Neal.
I'm surprised by this. Jaqueline trying to take this match to the outside.
Jackie is a street fighter. She's just as tough as anybody. And I guess maybe that's the strategy, to outfight Amber.
Certainly not expect to see both ladies going to the outside as Amber takes the guardrail.
Jackie sends her back first. As we said, she put all her weight on the small of the back of Amber on that choke, and now sends the small of the back against the guardrail. Jackie in full control of the less experienced Amber O'Neal.
Since this is their first meeting, Jaqueline is probably not aware that Amber actually did have reconstructive knee surgery back in the year 2003.
I wouldn't put it past Jackie to do her homework. Even with that overconfidence that she seems to display, I wouldn't put it past her whatsoever to do her homework. Once you've been to the top, you know exactly what you need to do. And earlier we were saying that maybe Jackie was a little overconfident, and that may have been the case, but she's been in control of Amber for the last couple of minutes.
Boy, Amber won't die though. She keeps firing back, but what a shot by Jaqueline with the cover. Amber's feet all over the ropes though.
A great call from Mike Sparks. He saw the feet in the ropes and stopped the count.
Jaqueline now shooting Amber off, ducks for the backdrop, and Amber all the way around, sunset flip, has her down, but not able to hold her.
Jackie tried to pull herself out of it, but Amber clinched back down. She finally slid out of it and puts both feet in the face of the lovely Amber O'Neal.
Jaqueline with another lateral press, but once again not able to get that fateful three.
Jackie now wrenching on the neck of Amber, getting away from that back-oriented offense that she'd been utilizing earlier in the match.
She may not beat Amber with this, but certainly can be a very effective wear-down maneuver. But this crowd is getting 100% behind Amber.
Amber fighting her way back. A shot to the ribcage, a second one, but the long hair comes back to bite Amber.
Oh, this crowd is not happy about it either. That is like the third blatant hair pull Jaqueline has gotten away with in this contest.
There's definitely a percentage of the crowd that appreciate that the UWF and TNA have brought a former world women's champion here. But you're right, those tactics just are not going to fly. Not with the crack officiating staff that we have. The best officiating staff in all of wrestling is right here in the UWF.
And of course, Hermie Sadler's still sitting at ringside, watching each and every match blow for blow.
Amber, DDT! Cracks the neck and the top of the head of Jackie. Amber hits her DDT, but is not in a position to make the cover.
It's a big-time offensive maneuver that Amber O'Neal desperately needed, but no cover could be made to follow up on it. Sparks now making the 10 count for both ladies, and this crowd screaming Amber's name.
Amber favoring her head. I think Jackie really rang her bell on one of those forearms or those closed fists, and she wasn't able to follow up on the DDT. A chop to the chest. Amber is blocking everything that Jackie is throwing and giving it right back to her. Double hands to the chest, and Amber is on fire.
Amber blistering the chest of Jaqueline, and all over right now, series of clotheslines.
Jackie rocking and reeling. Shoot off, no, it gets reversed. Stuck in the line, going under. Inverted, almost an STO. Cover, only gets two. Amber pulls out an STO, trying to put Jackie away.
Now we've seen Amber hit that maneuver before and actually gain wins with it, but Jaqueline able to survive it here today. Series of kicks to the midsection from Jaqueline. What a roundhouse chop!
Jackie with the martial arts offense and the German suplex bends Amber up and gets the pin.
So certainly tremendous fighting spirit on the behalf of Amber O'Neal, but when all is said and done, for the second night in a row, Jaqueline is able to secure the win with that beautiful German suplex.
Boy, you talk about veteran instincts. Jackie knew the exact moment to bust out the martial arts offense. She had Amber KO'd on her feet and then planted her with that German suplex. Beautiful wrestling from Jackie, and what a great competitive women's match we have seen here in Palmyra, Virginia. Jackie very proud of herself from the victory. Amber down as Hermie Sadler and Mike Sparks helping her to her feet. Jackie victorious, but what a great effort from Amber O'Neal.
Certainly proving she belongs in any women's division that TNA establishes.
I tell you, I've got a great feeling about the UWF TNA connection, bringing traditional, real, serious women's wrestling back to the forefront. Well, men, we've talked all night about Hermie Sadler's commitment to bring brand spanking new matches to the sport of professional wrestling. And Jeff Harris, that is exactly what we've got right now.
We got the Spank-A knockout match tonight, where some lucky fan here in Greensboro is going to get a spank. The loser between Traci Brooks and Amber O'Neal. And I can only guess at what kind of mind thought up that match, but I'm telling you what, these male fans and some of the female fans that shot me here in Greensboro are buying tickets and wanting to win this thing.
Something I'd like to get off my chest. Greensboro, you were the luckiest wrestling fans tonight. Not only do one of you hillbillies get to spank Amber O'Neal's ass when she loses, you get to see the reason why TNA is called TNA. Tonight, you get to see some quality pay-per-view TNA. So ladies and gentlemen, you love me or you hate me, you still want to see me. Can I have a TNA chant, please? Want me to take my shirt off or not?
I'm going to have to vote yes on that one, Grant Sawyer.
TNA chant. TNA.
The fans not quite enamored with Traci Brooks.
I bet you they'll back her opposition, though.
I would love to back her opposition.
Want to see TNA? Watch Fight TV on Thursday night, you bunch of perverts.
And her opponent from Greensboro, North Carolina, Miss Amber O'Neal.
There's such a thing as a home field advantage, and that's exactly what you're going to get here in just a few moments. Amber O'Neal has made a big impact on these Hermie Sadler UWF shows, but she's yet to wrestle in her home territory, and that's exactly where she is here tonight.
Hermie Sadler in the ring, making sure that both these ladies do business, as Traci Brooks is adamant that she's not going to let anyone touch her.
Can't believe it.
All right, everybody in?
I'm a wrestler.
Everybody in?
Shut up.
All right, listen, let's get a show of hands. How many people bought just one ticket? How many? Traci.
Why is she pointing at you, Grant?
How many people bought 5 tickets?
Employees not eligible.
This one guy flashed a $100 bill.
How many people bought 10 tickets? Right here. Okay. Look at that. Oh, let me hold them up again. Look at that. A prime candidate right there. All right, Mr. Ring Announcer, would you hold check him up a little bit?
Well, the NBA draft lottery was just last weekend.
How many tickets did you buy to spank someone back?
I don't have to buy any tickets. I'll spank them when I want to.
Hermie Sadler laying down the law.
He's got a new nickname now for me. It'll be Spank. All right. Here we go.
Wonder how many tickets AMW bought.
Bingo. And the lucky or unlucky winner is 616 6099. 616 6099. Do we have a winner?
I'm not sure how happy his wife is about this.
You come to the TNA Impact shows, you take your chances. You never know, you may end up with Sanjay Dutt in your lap, or you may get to spank a knockout.
How many times are you going to get the spank? 25. 25.
Oh, dear God.
25.
How many tickets I would have bought?
How many did you really buy? 5. He must have 5. Are you okay with 5? I want you to take a nice seat with us ringside for this match, because one of the girls you're going to have to aim real good to hit, and the other one you're not, so you have to just figure it out.
Amber O'Neal is not worried at all. Jocularity aside, she is here for business, and she is here to prove once and for all her dominance over Traci Brooks.
Oh, there's Traci Brooks jumping the gun, attacking Amber as she's trying to get the fans all ready for this match. Hit her from behind now, dragging her face across that top rope.
He took a cheap shot from behind for Traci Brooks to get control of this one. Amber stopped short though and ripping the TNA t-shirt off of Traci.
Traci, you're feeling a little exposed. Boy, I tell you, it is a hot night in Greensboro. Not much clothing required. And Traci Brooks is not happy at all. She would rather remain covered.
Amber O'Neal proved time and time again she belongs each and every week on Spike, on TNA.
UWF official Jamie Tucker. Traci Brooks, if you do not get back in the ring, you're counted out. You will automatically lose this match.
That count out will go towards the spiking. Jamie Tucker laying down the law, taking the cue from Hermie, who is taking no crap off anyone tonight.
Traci isn't going to have a choice here. She's going to have to get back in the ring.
Amber stopping the count. Amber wants to fight. And now a handful of hair. No, Traci takes her down. We've got knockouts fighting on the floor.
Oh, then she just slammed Amber's face right into the mat. The ring apron side. Tried it again, but Amber able to block it. Puts Traci face first.
We've got a fight outside the ring between Amber and Traci O'Neal. Traci, and she doesn't want any part of it.
Traci eats the canvas a couple of times.
Amber still smashing her face over and over. They're working their way around the six-sided ring.
Traci's going to be introduced to all six sides. It looks like Amber going all the way around the ring.
I think that's 5. One more and it's complete.
Traci's wishing this was a regular ring right now.
Would be less impact on the bridge of the nose. No.
Right into the ring barrier. I'm talking about Amber is fired up tonight. Smashing her in around the ring, now into the ring barrier. That's a metal ring barrier made out of steel. It's unforgiving.
A lot of people were having a good time with the stipulations. Cover from Amber, too. A lot of people were having a good time, but Amber never cracked a smile. She is all business here against Traci. Traci looked like went for a jawbreaker. Amber blocked some of it, but eats a clothesline.
Traci down for the cover. Has a hook, but just a 2 count.
Traci, another cover. Amber slips out pretty easily. Traci going for a lot of covers without really putting many offensive maneuvers together.
Of course, these fans of Greensboro are very familiar with Amber. She spent most of her career right in this general area in the Mid-Atlantic. Look at this, roll up from behind, has her down. Traci out at 2.
Schoolgirl only gets 2, and Traci puts those boots into the midsection of Amber O'Neal. As you said, I don't think anyone on this card has spent more time in the Carolinas. Maybe Jeff Hardy, but Amber O'Neal cut her teeth and has been wrestling basically every week in the Carolinas.
Exactly right. In fact, it was just 1 month ago in this very building. Amber O'Neal victorious with Michael Yamaha against Maddie V and G-Star, available exclusively on highspots.tv.
Traci with a cover. Amber looks to be close to the ropes. Good move from Traci, going to position her away from the ropes. Jamie Tucker's right there, but only 2. And now Traci trying to use the ropes to her advantage, blatantly in front of the official.
Traci definitely doesn't want to lose this match. She's made it known to all these fans what she thinks about them, calling them hillbillies, rednecks, everything else, insulted them. I'm telling you what, if she does lose, the winner of the drawing is definitely going to be given a little bit of payback justice from all these fans, as he'll get 5 spanks. He had 5 tickets.
Well, I think Traci Brooks has learned in a very short amount of time that Amber O'Neal is not your traditional female wrestler. She can get the job done, and Amber O'Neal will hit you as hard as any male competitor out there. Traci Brooks has had to learn that in these few short UWF appearances, and it's going to take a lot more than plastic surgery to defeat Amber O'Neal in Greensboro.
Amber not here to catfight. She is here to knock someone upside the head. And man, she brought the intensity last night and tonight against Traci. Traci trying to soak up some response here from the Greensboro fans. Charges in the corner.
What the hell is wrong with you?
And denies the fans the impact. Amber firing up.
Amber giving her some impact.
Big chop. Shoot off into the buckle. And Amber stands above, dropping the weight across the ample chest of Traci Brooks. Greensboro behind Amber O'Neal. Charge, Russian leg sweep, takes her over, cover. Jamie Tucker right there, but only two.
A lot of intensity etched across the face of both Amber and Traci, trying to get a big win in singles competition here in Greensboro.
Traci takes the buckle, elbow to the chest. Going for, looks like that face buster that we have seen Traci use before.
Traci beat her with that up in Virginia, and now Traci going for the cover. Feet blatantly on the bottom rope. Pay attention, referee!
Jamie Tucker did not see the feet on the ropes. And Traci is victorious.
Wait a minute, Hermie's getting involved here.
No. Are you blind, ref? Did you see the feet on the ropes?
Everyone in this building saw feet on the ropes.
Well, I did too. I'm ordering this match to restart. That is not an official finish. Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Hermie is overruling the decision. The bell rings again. Big shot from Amber.
DDT by Amber O'Neal on top of Traci. Leg hook, 2, 3. Amber O'Neal past Traci Brooks.
Amber O'Neal goes 2-0 for the weekend against Traci Brooks, who now must face the
And the
punishment.
winner of the match from Greensboro, North Carolina, Miss Amber O'Neal.
The hometown hero does very, very well in Greensboro, and Traci, well, it's not over for her yet.
It's all over but the spanking.
She's already been spanked once. She's about to get it a second time.
Amber O'Neal, what a breath of fresh air among the TNA Knockout. Someone that is here for action and is here to wrestle, is not here to show off and catfight. And Traci Brooks has just found out what it means to come against a wrestler from the Mid-Atlantic region.
Hermie Sadler about having to hold our ticket winner back. He can't wait to get in the ring.
Traci trying to welch on the deal.
Let's hear it for John, who's getting ready to have some fun. John.
Traci Brooks trying to get out of here. She doesn't want those 5 spanks from Lucky John.
And over the lap of Amber O'Neal.
Give her 5. Give her 5 good one right there. Warm it up. Here we go. 1. Hey, a little bit harder.
Hermie's having fun asserting his
All right, get the other
authority.
side. Get the other side. All right.
There's a lot of sides on Traci to slap.
3. Oh, you got 2 more. Make good on them. 2 more.
That one
All right,
echoed.
1 more. Last one.
I heard that one all the way over here.
He put some smack on that one.
Let's go.
Traci's about to tap.
How about Amber? 1 for good notice? Anybody want Amber to give the 1 for good notice?
Amber gives her one to grow on. And Traci is heading for the back.
That posterior doesn't need to do any more growing.
Goodbye. La 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 la.
And Greensboro singing along. It does not look like Traci Brooks will be missed.